Hey everybody, and welcome to the Intentional Harmony Podcast. This podcast is for musicians looking to jumpstart their career, inspire others, and get motivated to make the life of your dream. I don't care if you've been playing music for 5 years or 20 years. If you want a career in music, then what the heck are you waiting for? And let me clarify when I say career. This podcast is not just for musicians that want to make it big. This is for the musician who wants to play part-time, the brand new artist who just needs a little push in the right direction, the artist who does want to make it their full-time gig, and even the artist who's still figuring it out, because really, aren't we all? Whatever your dream and vision may be, this podcast will be here for you. I'm your host, Katie Warren, and I am so excited that you decided to listen today. My goal with each episode is that you explore deeper thoughts, build confidence to make your dream a reality, and give you practical tools and ideas that you can apply to real-life situations. Hey guys, it is episode 8 of Intentional Harmony, and I'm super excited you're here with me today. I do have to say, usually I have my buddy Mosley, my puppy, in the room with me as I record this, but he is being so loud and annoying today, I had to shut him out. So once in a while, he'll headbutt the door, so if you hear like a bang, I'll try to edit that out, but it's just him being really obnoxious. So, all right, we're going to talk about a really important topic today. They're all really important, but this one is especially important. But before we get started, I want you to take a second and think about what you do right when you wake up. And I'm talking about from the moment you open your eyes and your feet touch the ground. Is your phone involved in that reflection? And I ask that because most people, when they wake up, checking their phone is the first thing that they do, and usually it's checking their email, but then hopping on social media. And what do you see on social media? People who are not tired, people who are productive at 4:30 in the morning, and just a whole lot of comparison that you don't need to put yourself through however early you're waking up. I want to challenge you to wake up and ignore your phone for the first 30 minutes of your morning. Turn your alarm off, and then that's it. Put it in your pocket or flip it over once you're awake. If you see something negative on social media the first thing you wake up, it's going to set a tone for the rest of your day. If you see something that makes you lose confidence or brings you down, that's where your confidence is going to sit for the rest of the day as well. Nothing is that important that it can't wait 30 minutes for you to start your morning in your own head and off of everyone else's on the internet. Sound good? Okay. This week's episode is talking about staying true to who you are and keeping your authenticity, all while finding your village of people. Authenticity is a big buzzword lately, but really to me, in as simple form as possible, is just staying true to yourself. So as a musician, we tend to have strong influences towards music that inspire us and speaks to us, and sometimes it can be hard to dig past that and make it truly feel like your own. And I'm not talking about copyright. I'm talking about the brand and the style that an artist is using to represent themselves. If you remember back to the first episode, we talked about your story and why it's really important to understand your story, write it down, and reflect back on your why all the time. I'm bringing it up again because your story is who you truly are, and it's what shaped you into the musician you are today. It's what's influencing the musician that you're becoming. It's everything to your image. It's everything to your image. Social media is both a blessing and a curse because we can be exposed to a lot of things on the positive side, right? It gives us new ideas, new inspiration, and it connects us to a lot of people. But on the negative side, it gives us a lot to try to live up to. You're looking at someone's polished social media feed that probably took them a really long time to get it to where it is right now, or someone's picture that looks so great, or the recorded cover song they posted this evening. But you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. And you're probably also following some of your favorite musicians, right? And you're probably following your favorite musicians with hundreds and thousands of followers too, right? Keep in mind that social media is not reality. And while it's really important to have a strong, consistent image on social media, it's not as important to look at other musicians' image on that platform. What you really need to be concerned about is how the fans see your image, not everyone else. This goes for writing your songs too. If the lyrics aren't coming from your heart and a place of truth, then they're not going to have the connection with people. So I'll try to give you an example. If you write a song that's about being cheated on and you've never been cheated on before, but it's kind of like that trend going on, that Carrie Underwood trend, it's going to come out in the music, no matter how good your lyrics are, that you've never been cheated on before. On the flip side, let's say you've been cheated on, unfortunately. Not only are your lyrics going to reflect that, but the entire mood and feeling of the song is going to bleed your emotion from your physical and mental experience. Along with that, staying true to yourself also means only taking opportunities that fit within your truth and your image. In the most simple way I can explain this, I believe every deal you make should feel good. And what does feel good mean? It means you don't have a gut feeling that it's not going to go well. It means you're not going to have to mold your music or your image into something that it's not. It means you still have, within reason, your artistic freedom to be yourself. It's not forced. No deal is worth losing yourself for. And no deal is worth losing your real legit fans over. Mike Allen's a songwriter, and American Pride magazine interviewed him, and he had a really good quote in there. He said, "It's a challenge to stay true to your music and style, but continue to grow. A lot of artists sound like nothing they did 5 or 10 years ago and alienated their old audience. A lot of artists sound exactly like they did 20 years ago, and their audience got bored with the same old thing. You have to learn how to stay current, let yourself grow, but not outgrow your audience." Okay, that's a mouthful, but let's break it down. What he's really saying is that it's natural to change and evolve, but in the end, it still has to be you out there. Once you start making it big in the industry, there's a lot of external influences that try to shape you into the next rock star, pop star, legend, whatever. While you're growing, your audience is growing too. So while, you should not stay exactly the same, you should evolve, but pay attention to the audience who's supporting you and following you too, making sure you're all evolving together. Another quote by D.L. Byron is, "Stay true to yourself and your art. If you're a songwriter, then write what's on your heart. Write what you know." So let's break that down. Sometimes when you get great deals, people tell you that it should sound like the latest single out, or it should sound more like your past album that you released. Again, if you're doing something that doesn't, quote, feel good, then don't do it. Chances are your audience will agree, or the audience you care about will agree. It's not the music or the songs that are making you stand out. It's how you speak your truth and convey yourself as a human being, your image. The next thing I want to talk about is finding your tribe. Personally, I break tribe into 2 separate things. The first one is artists and musicians that relate to you and support you and cheer you along the way. They're your cheerleaders, right? This can be musicians at the same level, but I really recommend having mentors and musicians that are further along than you. There's a saying that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And there's a lot of truth to that in music as well. You always want to be playing with musicians who challenge you, right? It's good to feel like the best musician in the room, but what are you getting out of it then? You always want to be playing with musicians who challenge you. You always want to be talking with industry leaders who are challenging you to think outside of the box and think on the next level. Once you find people that you trust, learn from them, watch them, ask questions, and provide what you can in return. Okay, your second tribe is the moneymaker. These are your super fans. I don't believe you should wait for your tribe to find you. It's just not going to happen through great content and great music. It may get you by for a little bit, and it could be an okay short-term strategy, but for a long-term strategy, you really need to search them out. And to search them out, you have to get clear on your image, what you believe in, and why you do what you do. After that, a really common practice in marketing is to make an avatar. This doesn't mean go on your PlayStation and design a little person. It means that you're going to create a person in your mind or written down on paper that exactly emulates the person you believe will connect best with your music. This doesn't mean that every single person is going to be exactly like that to a T, but what it does is it gets you a clear image of who you're going to go after and pinpoint to try to get in front of. I'll give you an example of my avatar. I don't have what I wrote down in front of me, so I'm just going to give you a quicker version of it. So starting from reflection and the basics, the image I want to represent in my business is a strong, woman-led business that consistently strives to overcome obstacles and embrace uncertainty to reach success. My belief? I strongly believe that every musician, no matter what age, is able to achieve a high level of success if they fully embrace and dedicate themselves to a life of music. My why is because music speaks to my soul, and I feel like no one and nobody should have to feel like they need to do this on their own. Musicians should be focusing on creating beautiful melodies and interesting form instead of worrying about how to make a living and get by day to day. So, my avatar looks like someone in their mid-20s, out of college. They're probably working in a non-music related job, but they're playing a few gigs at night after work and on the weekend. But when they're bored, their mind wanders and they think of new songs, they tap a new rhythm, they think about the tour they want to go on or the album they want to record. Really, all they want to do is be able to make money through their music, but they have to worry about paying the bills on time and sitting at this stupid 9-to-5 job that's not serving them. That is the person I want to help, and that I feel will have the most connection to me. You can get even more specific if you want, but that should give you a good starting point. You guys, this is so important. This is your community. Not only are you making them feel like they belong in your music, but you belong with them. And that is an amazing community to have through the hard times and the good times. A great way to find those people is by going on very similar band or artist pages and looking at who's connecting with them. Another way is to go to places that you think your tribe hangs out. Maybe it's a coffee shop or a library. Maybe it's the little hole-in-the-wall bar at 1 a.m. We're all humans made to interact and connect with each other. So let's spark a conversation and let's share our passion with other people. I like to use this theory I came up with based off of the game Where's Waldo. Let's say you have a group of people that share your values, your beliefs, they have a similar story, and they really connect with you. In the noise of the music industry, of everyone else performing and everyone trying to make it, aka the crowd in Where's Waldo, this little group of people is going to find you, the Waldo, among everyone else. You're going to stick out to them even if it takes a little bit of time for them to find you. And once they find you, it's really hard to lose you in that crowd again. Metaphorically speaking, those red stripes really start to stand out. So moving on to my next point is once you have those people that find you, that find your red stripes, once you've built that community, how do you keep them around for a long time? Connecting with you and finding meaning within your music is not necessarily enough to grow your career out of. You have to keep them excited and wanting more, and most of all, feeling important. Obviously, posting videos and lives and content is really important, and it's just part of marketing yourself as a musician and as a business in general, but it's not quite personal enough yet. Something I love to see artists do is run contests to win exclusive merch or have really intimate small concerts once in a while. Maybe offer a one-on-one or, a small virtual concert online to a little group of people. You want them to know that while you can't be messaging them back and forth every single day, you see them, you appreciate them, and you're going to keep doing what you do because of them. And I promise for this next thing, I am not getting paid to say any of this, but Patreon is a really great way to serve those fans once you have them. I talked about it in the last episode a little bit as a little side income way to make money, but I'll kind of just review what it is for those of you who've never heard of it. It's kind of like GoFundMe, except people who are financially supporting you with donations towards your music career are also getting rewards and incentives for doing so. They get those exclusive calls with you or that practice session or rehearsal video that you took that is not posted on social media for the world to see. Maybe they want a lesson from you, or maybe you send them an autographed original handwritten copy of the song you wrote on your new album. Whatever it is, I think Patreon is a great way to connect with those very, very close fans. The main point of this is a friendship even though you're not hanging out physically every single day or talking and messaging back and forth, if you think about it, they're dedicating their time to you by following you, waiting for new releases, and listening to your music. They could be listening to anything else, and they're choosing to listen to you. That's really special. So what you need to do in return is to listen to them in regards to what they want, what they're saying to you, rather than just advertising all the time. If you truly care about your fans, give them quality attention, and they're going to give it right back. That, my friends, is what's going to pay your bills, keep you inspired, and most importantly, make you want to stay true to who you really are, because you have a group behind you, supporting you the entire way. I'm going to leave you on a wonderful quote by Simon Sinek. He wrote the book Start With Why, and if you still are not sure of your why and your reason behind what you do, then I highly recommend you read his book. But the quote he said is, there are only two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it, or you can inspire it. Thanks for listening to the Intentional Harmony Podcast, brought to you by Intent Artist Management. If you like this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. I love connecting with my listeners, so feel free to send me a message on Facebook or Instagram at Intent Artist Management. If you want to be featured on my podcast, just take a screenshot of this episode and post it in your Instagram story. Make sure to tag Intent Artist Management and hashtag Intentional Harmony as well. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.